And welcome to the all-time most valuable episode of the Oddity Archive. Consider it our little way of giving back. Though granted, your results may vary just a bit. So anyway, yeah, it's a VHS vault kind of day, and as always, I've got two videos lined up for you, and damn straight I'm talking over them. But today's two videos are really supposedly special because they're designed to help you beat the system, here in the States at least. So with that, let's just go ahead and dive straight in. So, this first video is actually a reprise of a video that I did right around this time last year, the VHS Vault on business scam videos. So, I've got another scam for you here, and dare I say, it's even dumber than the last two. And I'll let the scam itself be a surprise, but I'll tell you this much. It's another multi-level marketing pyramid scheme sort of deal. But anyway, on the surface, you could be easily forgiven for thinking that this is a bit more innocuous than it really is. So, today's first video is Take a Bite Out of Your Taxes from thetaxpeople.net from 1999. And yeah, you'd think that maybe this is just basic tax advice, or given the prominent website address, an ad for somebody giving tax advice, or maybe a CPA or an H&R Block sort of deal. But no, it's another scam. Although, in all fairness, they do give some tax advice in here early on, but it's really bad advice. I would not recommend this. So the gist of it is that you're supposed to start a home business, which, okay, great, whatever. But it's supposed to be kind of deliberately wonky, intentionally low cash flow and all that, and to do some really shady stuff, like to employ your family and employ your kids, even if they don't work at all, and do stuff like claim your entire home as office space. So, I don't know, put a piece of gear in every room, including the bathroom. And yeah, just anything you can do to lower your potential tax burden. So, yeah, you'd have to be a righteous idiot to try this stuff. But anyway, there is a little bit of a story behind the taxpeople.net, a short but sweet one. So this video is from, I think, mid-1999. And in March of 2000 or soon thereafter, according to the Wayback Machine on archive.org, the website for the taxpeople.net just stopped being maintained. And then in May of 2001, a judge in Kansas, because the company was based in Topeka, shut down the company, which I think had already been effectively dead for about a year. And then the CEO, who you will see here, proceeded to go on the run and spent the next 3 years very quickly bouncing back and forth between America and Mexico. Well, in 2004, he was caught at the border, sent back to Kansas, tried, and sentenced to 25 years to life, and was sent to Leavenworth, one of America's most notorious prisons. And he died in custody in April of 2020. So, on that happy note, let's make fun of some stupid business stuff. Translation, at the time, it was far more profitable to just pretend someone was bootlegging this sucker than it was to, invest in the actual program. Babaloo!
Life used to be so simple. Dad had that great paying job with a solid growing company, and Mom got to stay home to make sure that her kids received plenty of attention and nurturing.
Oh, who are we kidding? Mom just really dug General Hospital.
Definitely changed. Job security is simply a thing of the past, and those dreams of spending lots of one-on-one time with the kids seem to be just fading away.
Stop me if you've heard this one before.
Just making ends meet. In over 60% of America's households, both the husband and wife work outside the home.
Oh, this is so unrealistic. There is no way that kid is literate.
And they were 10 or even 20 years ago. But when you consider that the average family today pays about 35% of their gross income in taxes each year, it's not too hard to understand. 35%?
Yep, the first 2 brewskis out of every 6-pack is for the man.
128 days of each year are totally devoted to Uncle Sam.
Oh, I don't care. As long as the cutie in navy blue is still working here.
And clothing combined. We all know that this great country of ours would not be what it is today without taxes.
This great country being a bureaucratic cluster.
Is entitled to limit the amount of...
Ah, yes, the Texas Instruments 83. That calculator we were all required to buy in high school, never used, and now do our bookkeeping with. Myself included.
Just to have them prepare their returns based upon the information that they provided to them.
So, Ben, what's this about $200 for happy hamster videos?
Motivated to advise their clients on sophisticated tax strategies. Most people are part of the employee tax system, which means that they work for someone else and that their tax deductions are basically limited to the interest on their mortgage, their children,
the only reason to have kids,
and maybe an IRA. If you're part of this group,
well then, bah, bah.
And one of the IRS's favorite customers. It's the employer, the business owner, who gets to write off everything from...
But if I may play devil's advocate for a moment here, it is the business owner that takes on all the risk, not the employee.
Entertainment, and even the magazines in their reception area.
Though given they all date to the Reagan administration, they must be getting some sweet, sweet depreciation out of them.
Unless you operate some type of a business out of your home. Home-based businesses are, without question, the single best tax strategy in America, which probably helps to explain why the home business industry has exploded over the last few years. According to the U.S. Commerce Department, home-managed businesses are the fastest-growing segment of the U.S. economy.
Especially those that scalp beanie babies on Fleabay for $800 a pop.
That operates a business from their residence. Whether it's a house, apartment, mobile home, condominium, or even a boat.
Hell, a van down by the river.
Kids or no kids, you can definitely start paying much less in taxes than you are right now by simply operating your own home business.
And the cruel irony is, you'll work harder than ever.
So how could you do it?
Get elected?
What if you had a team of some of the most qualified tax experts in the country to walk you step by step through a proven, perfectly legal system for slashing your taxes?
I'd be suspicious.
Part of an incredible company known as the Tax People.
Formerly just Renaissance, but people got confused and thought it was the band.
You'll get the knowledge, skill, and reliability of a multi-million-dollar company's dedicated tax team of experts, made up of former IRS agents and...
Because they needed the new challenge, I guess.
To help ensure that you receive the absolute maximum in allowable tax benefits. And you won't have to worry about making inconvenient appointments.
We'll make them for you.
Get the answers you need. Because as a customer of the Tax People...
When Hutterites try and get stylish.
Very own arsenal of tax professionals. With toll-free 800 numbers, email, conference calls, and one-on-one meetings through literally hundreds of the Tax People offices all over the country.
Hundreds equaling 100 at best. Not a joke.
System developed by top IRS attorneys, CPAs, and former IRS agents.
Not to mention developed by Bob the town drunk, Greg, who thinks aliens control his socks, and the janitor at the courthouse who doesn't speak English.
Immediately cut your taxes and instantly increase your take-home pay by literally hundreds of dollars each month. That's big money that could...
That cash in the background? That's deductible too.
Retirement, or even that trip around the world you've always dreamed about.
Yeah, about that. When I did the AM stereo thing in Minnesota a while back, I was only allowed a $50 per diem for lodging. And I actually worked on that trip. The whole time. Not a joke.
In the event that you are ever audited, it's doubtful that you'll ever even have to talk to the IRS because the tax people experts will be fully prepared to represent you
Which is one of the main reasons for going to a CPA.
for penalties resulting from your new home business.
The IRS office has cinder block walls. How apt.
Sophisticated data entry department quickly and carefully processes all daily sales to ensure that every sale is accurately reflected in the bonus checks paid out to the tax people independent associates every business day at 5 p.m.
26 cents, 8 cents, $1.02 for the high rollers.
Dedicated shipping department where a 20
All right, got it. Thanks. See ya. Oh, yeah. Time to punish bad little packages.
tracked by the dynamically capable MIS department.
Missing in service.
The phenomenal growth of the tax people. A state-of-the-art communications and graphics department utilizes the
Graphics department run by an ex-bouncer out of his mom's attic.
tools. And when it comes to customer and associate support, questions are promptly answered by a highly qualified team of customer service representatives.
And we guarantee 50% of our staff will be wearing sailor outfits.
Business. And to help ensure that everything operates smoothly and that the company continues its staggering growth, the tax people have assembled an incredibly talented management team.
Led by a member of 38 Special, no less.
Fortune 500 company. But it's the company's CEO, Mr. Michael C. Cooper, who has clearly proven to be the propelling force behind the impressive success of this unique and truly exciting company.
Michael C. Cooper himself wrote that redundant, rambling intro, didn't he?
Those are three key concepts. It's got to be good for the consumer, it's got to be good for the industry, and it's got to be good for government.
Especially for the politicians we try to buy off.
Even $150 increase in their weekly take-home pay. Second, for the industry, our people can enjoy a fairly immediate and lucrative income because of the sheer size of this industry. There's 120 million people that all want to cut their taxes.
It was an absolutely brutal pull to conduct.
The whole reason the government passed the laws in the first place was to encourage you to increase your income and therefore increase the amount of tax you pay.
Not to mention dump that self-employment tax on you.
I've been blessed to enjoy a lifestyle that too many Americans are missing out on today.
Yeah, I know I resent not being able to live out a weird, postmodern, little house on the prairie lifestyle.
For the little league games and to be there in the mornings when they go to school and to be there in the afternoons when they get home. And that's what I really want for middle America to get back to. And
Translation, if you live in flyover country, you're a total rube and will believe this crap.
Getting the tax relief system is really the ideal part-time or even full-time home business.
Oh, did we mention you'll be selling the same product we used to rope you in?
Especially since you won't need employees or a big inventory of products.
But you will have to invest an initial $1,200, plus another $100 a month. Not a joke.
That most people only dream about.
It's simple.
And so am I.
There's mass appeal. And that two combination right there just says money.
We've been doing this for 18 days and we already received 9 checks.
You idiots do realize they're just sending back some of your investment, right? I can't even write jokes for this.
Raise, do you think it's time to begin keeping a lot more of the money you worked so hard for? This is actually a real opportunity for you and your family to get ahead of the game for a change.
Speaking of ahead of the game, this family is practicing its inevitable chased by the feds escape into international waters. Dad, what's extradition? Well, it's still better than my family crest, which just has a picture of a tube of Crest toothpaste on it. Translation, the tax people is just another multi-level marketing scam. Like any business, the more you sell, the more you make. It's not luck. The tax people assume no liability if you don't earn back your investment, and nanny boo-boo. I think I can safely say that the vast majority of us that drive, even just on a semi-regular basis, have been pulled over for something at some point. Myself included, though I guess I've been pretty lucky. It's only been twice in 20-odd years for me, and the most recent of them would have been about 15 years ago. But, of course, the number one thing you get pulled over for is speeding. And, well, if you wind up having to go to court over it, what do? It's basically your word against theirs. At best, the cop might have a way of saving the readout on his little radar gun thingy. You've basically just got your own words to defend you with. And yeah, I can see where a video on how to deal with a speeding ticket, especially if you have to go to court, could be potentially very valuable. Unfortunately, today's second and final video, How to Beat a Speeding Ticket from 1986, dispenses its one and only piece of real sage advice within the first minute, once it gets going at least. And that advice being, don't get caught in the first place. Well, that was totally worth $24.95. But anyway, speaking of not getting caught, this video did come with a little present for you. So you got this lovely little envelope here, and in it, you've got a $50 coupon for a shiny new K40 radar detector, and it's good if redeemed within 30 days of purchasing the video with no expiration date. Well, of course, I purchased my copy new. This was still sealed when I got it, but it was sometime last year when I found it. Oh well. Ooh, a motion picture. I hope I got Gone with the Wind. Oh, who am I kidding? You know, it's kind of poetic, possibly getting caught by the man for bootlegging a video on how to beat another rap. Yeah, public performance. Yeah, performing a motion picture, so I guess that means acting it out is out of the question. Severe criminal penalties, yeah. Including, but not limited to, 30 years at Leavenworth, tar and feathering, and burning at the stake. Sounds like the THX theme just hit puberty. Hello? Movie? You can start now. Hello? Movie? There we go. Focus! Focus! Yeah, better. No, too far. Oh, great. We're off to a roaring start, aren't we? Well, the Kraftwerk-Jan Hammer collaboration didn't go too well, did it?
This year, traffic cops will give tickets to 1 out of every 8 drivers. Of those motorists who contest their tickets in court, more than 25% will win their cases. You too can beat a speeding ticket, and we're going to show you how.
Spoiler alert, it involves lots of crying and batting your eyelashes.
We've gotten the inside scoop from current and former cops, presiding judges, and high-priced lawyers. Advice that would cost you thousands of dollars if you went out and paid for it yourself.
Why, you'd have to get a whole lot of traffic tickets for that to be worthwhile. In which case, you'd probably need a good lawyer anyway.
The only surefire way to beat a ticket is
with a meat tenderizer.
But once you've been pulled over, the best chance you'll ever have is to talk your way out of it right then and there.
Okay, let's say you're driving down the road.
Steve Monday, Joe Friday's bastard nephew.
Realize that the moment the officer places that light upon your vehicle, by law, you are under arrest.
Well, I don't think I've paid any tickets.
Ben A. Shuck? How about Ben be unimpressed with these fake names?
It's been a long time since I paid a ticket. I have been stopped probably an average of once a year or so, I would think, maybe a little more frequently than that.
I admit, I'm starting to slip a bit as I get older.
To talk my way out of it most of the time.
An officer, when making a stop, has the discretion of 3 possible routes of action. Number 1 is the taking into custody the actual physical incarceration of an individual.
But we'll only do that if you're famous.
And number 3 is the issuance of a citation, or what is commonly known as a ticket.
Assume I have stopped and another police officer is approaching me. I think that many police officers are real gun-shy today because they don't know what that person who they stopped is likely to do.
Especially when you pull them over at a Los Angeles rest stop. That takes some guts.
Security.
The amount of stops we make during an average day is 25 stops.
Rick Bierend, before he changed his name to Deshane Teague. See VHS Vault Volume 19.
15 people will get off with a warning. Now, what's the criteria?
Criterias.
That's one of the major secrets. If you knew what the criteria for getting a citation, it'll cover you about 80% of the time if you know how to talk your way out of a citation. You approach the car, you say, "Good evening, good afternoon, ma'am. Do you have a driver's license, registration?" She says yes. She hands it to you. She says, "What'd I do wrong, officer?" You say, "Well, I clocked you 64 in a 25-mile-an-hour zone."
Color me impressed.
You must be mistaken. Either she'll say, "My car can't do that, won't go that fast," her new Corvette, or she'll say, "I was watching the speedometer and I was doing 27 miles an hour." So she's saying one of two things, and that's either I'm a liar or I'm grossly incompetent.
For how nonchalant he is, I'd hate to see how he handled armed robberies. Well, now, I see you shot the clerk, but don't accuse me of being a liar.
Any ticket or some type of violation. And right about the time that he's asking for the individual's driver's license, he will confront him with what he saw, such as traveling a little fast, weren't you? Or
where's the fire? Or trying to run away from your rear tires? That's my favorite.
You were traveling a little fast, weren't you? He's already starting to build his case.
On which your ass will be on display unless you listen to me.
It's the transaction. When the officer says, "Well, sir, you were traveling a little fast." Was I? How fast was I going, officer? Did you clock me at that speed? How long of a, was it a temporary thing? How long a clock did you have on me? Where was I when you first observed me?
Call me an old cynic, but something tells me if I tried that, I'd piss off the cop that much more and get dragged off in handcuffs.
You don't have to take the officer on. You don't have to kiss his ass either. Just deal with him in a professional way.
First decent advice he's given.
No two states or even communities are exactly alike in the way they handle traffic violations. Some haul you right off to jail.
Some hack off body parts and FedEx them to your family members.
Most issue you a citation that is actually a notice to appear in court.
Oh, great. Pulled over by the damn stud police again.
Or fight.
Officer write it down 21:30 on my ticket, and her ticket put it 18:30.
So what? To make a U-turn up?
No, the timing that was the
Every argument I've ever had on Twitter.
What's that gonna do with
that was 3 hours different on.
So what? Did you make the U-turn or not, sir?
But I like bananas.
U-turn in a business district, okay?
I would like to go to traffic school because I don't see, I cannot explain it in here in this court. You're not going to take my word.
I don't care if the citation's got the wrong
time,
timing. Sir, it's my turn to talk, all right?
Okay.
Why do I get the feeling this defendant is the sort of guy that tries to negotiate the price of his fast food burger?
Turn. That's what you're here for. Making a U-turn in a business district, nothing else.
Okay, that was a parking lot in the left. Okay.
Where's Mom to bop him upside the head with a wooden spoon when you need her?
This is a court of law.
Okay.
Now, we come here to fight our traffic tickets and we try to do things, we believe in fairness,
Sure.
all right?
Sure.
We do things a certain way. If you don't have any respect for the court, then we'll show you the same no respect.
I'd hate to see how that judge treats Rodney Dangerfield.
Finish your talk and vice versa. Is that fair enough?
Sure.
I approached the parking lot after going around the block and looking for a parking space, Your Honor.
Yeah.
And the attendant motioned to me that he was moving the cars.
That attendant was playing you. You don't get to have much fun as a parking lot attendant,
Rode by, he came up to me and said the lot is full, and I told him that the attendant was moving the cars. And then he went away and came back a half a minute later and says, "I'm going to give you a ticket."
The officer is a real good guy. I'm surprised he wrote you the citation. I'm going to dismiss it.
Curses! Foiled again.
I would say that 25% of all traffic tickets set for trial are dismissed because the police officer doesn't show up.
In other words, the Asian guy earlier was banking on the officer not showing up.
Based on a lack of prosecution, the citation against you is dismissed. Please see the clerk about getting a bail refund.
Great. And now I go back to being funky, swinging American hot rodder.
Create in the minds of the judge a reasonable doubt, more than a reasonable doubt, but at least a reasonable doubt as to whether you did or did not commit the violation. And most importantly, if you convince the judge that you believe that you did not commit the violation, and he believes in your credibility, that is the best chance you've got of winning that traffic ticket.
Of course, being a judge yourself doesn't hurt. I can only speak for myself here, but nothing in this video would have helped me when I needed it. For example, when I was in college, I got busted for speeding, the bare minimum ticketable offense no less, and the cop added an extra 6 miles an hour to what I was actually doing. Same fine, same points, but yeah, the cop was just being a jerk. Now, I mean, I was gonna pay the fine anyway. I mean, I screwed up, but really, was he trying to troll me into going to court and making an ass out of myself in front of the judge, or did he just not want to look petty to his superiors? Oh, and then there was the time where I got busted in a city-run parking lot because my receipt wasn't perfectly straight on the dashboard, and the wind was freaking howling that day. And why did the judge treat me like he was doing me this big favor by dismissing it? I didn't do anything wrong in the first place. And needless to say, I started carrying a roll of Scotch tape in my car after that. Pasted those damn receipts to my dashboard. Never did get in trouble again, though. Well, that's it for today's archive. Join me next time when I get audited for the 4th time in 3 years. Really, I can't help it if the archive has some really weird deductions. Everyone's got their cross to bear, I guess.
As you make additional personal sales, HAL, the powerful corporate computer system, will automatically build and balance 3 individual sales teams within your organization. By simply helping others duplicate this process, you can ignite the awesome power of duplication and be well on your way to achieving the kind of success you've always dreamed of.